Shavua Tov, a gute Woche, and welcome to our program. Thursday was Chov Zayin Odorishin, and Shabbos is Shabbos Parshas Vayakhel. These are two sensitive dates in the history of Chabad Lubavitch. Chov Zayin Odorishin, we know what took place, Tovshin Nun Beis, and Shabbos Parshas Vayakhel, Tovshin Nun Beis. It was not Vayakhel Pekude, it was Vayakhel like this year, because it was a leap year. Shabbos Parshas Vayakhel was the last Farbrengen so far that we were zeicha to see and to hear the Rebbe. This is why these two dates are very, very sensitive. In the Farbrengen of Shabbos Parshas Vayakhel, Tovshin Nun Beis, seemed to be like a regular Farbrengen. Although we don't know what a regular Farbrengen is, there is no irregular Farbrengen. But there was a Farbrengen this Shabbos, Parshas Vayakhel, excuse me, like there was a Farbrengen last week and the week before and the week before and the week before. But we did not know that this Shabbos Parshas Vayakhel, Tovshin Nun Beis, is the last Shabbos that we will, so far, that we will have the schus of seeing and hearing the Rebbe. The Farbrengen, you would say, was like every Shabbos, but there was an exception. The first exception was that the Rebbe said that all the Rebbes never went to Eretz Yisrael. Now, this is something interesting. None of the Rebbes went to Eretz Yisrael. Besides, the Rebbe says the previous Rebbe that he went to Eretz Yisrael is because he was precluded from visiting the Tzion of the Rebbe, of his father, the Rebbe Nishmas in Rostov, and of his grandfather, the Rebbe Marash, and the Rebbe Tzemach Tzedek in Lubavitch. Because of that, he went to Eretz Yisrael. But what is very, what was very interesting that the Rebbe never mentioned it before. At this Farbrengen, the Rebbe mentioned that the Rebbes never went to Eretz Yisrael. The other part is that when you look at the printed Sikha, you see that it ends with the words, Kohol Godel Yoshuvu Heino. A great multitude will return here. It's a posik in Yirmiyah, and it's a Hakhel posik. Tov Shin Nun Beis was not a Hakhel year. As simple as that. And the last words at the printed Sikha are Kol Godel Yoshuvu Heino. That is something that needs some sort of explanation. We will return to that in a moment. But first, our customary story. And the customary story is about this Sikha. This Sikha was Muge by the Rebbe before the Rebbe went to the Ehel on Monday morning. That Sikha was already Muge. But generally, that is a miraculous Yetzeh Min HaKlal. And because of that, we have the Sikha. Now, the Sikha is printed. It's printed in Sefer HaSichas Tovshin Nun Beis, and it's printed in broad lines, not in two lines, but not in two columns, but in one column. And it's a synopsis of the Sikha. And what is miraculous, as mentioned, is that the Rebbe looked this over before he went to the Ehel on Monday morning. Mentioned that the last words in the Sikha that was Muge by the Rebbe is Kohol Godel Yoshuvu Heino. And the obvious question is, Tovshin Nun Beis was not a Shnas Hakhel. Kol Godel Yoshuvu Heino is a Hakhel posuk. It's a posuk in Yirmiyah, it's a Hakhel posuk. And there's ending to that posuk. Tov Nun Beis was not a Haghel posuk. And the Rebbe ends the Farbrengen in the Mugedike Sicha with the words, Kol Godel Yoshuva Heino. Now, this is something that has to do with the Rebbe Sicha. And everyone can learn Pshat in the Rebbe Sicha the way he understands. This is a suggestion for you to think about. Why the Rebbe ended this Farbrengen with the words Kol Godel Yoshuva Heino. Now mentioned again, Kol Godel Yoshuva Heino is a Haghel posuk. Tov Nun Beis was not a Haghel year. Perhaps the Pshat is mentioned before. The Farbrengen looked like any other Farbrengen, as far as we were concerned. The Rebbe Farbrings every Shabbos, so he's Farbrengen the Shabbos too. Shabbos Vayaghel, like he did last week, Pashas Kesiso, and the week before, and so on, and the week before, and Truma, and Tetzaveh, and Kesiso, and so on. Nevertheless, the Rebbe knew exactly what was going on, and the Rebbe knew about this Farbrengen. The Rebbe knew that this, for a moment, for a while, albeit too long, is going to be the last Farbrengen. After that, he will be able to see us. We will not be able to see him. And the Rebbe is sitting at 770, and the Shabbos Pashas Vayaghel, and the Rebbe knows about this Shabbos that next week there may not be a Farbrengen, and this may be the last Farbrengen so far. And there's a question. The Rebbe himself promised that his administration, Yud Shvat of Shin Yud Aleph, he is going to bring Mashiach B'Peil Mamish. So now the Rebbe is in 770. It's Shabbos Pashas Vayaghel. He knows what's going to happen. And we're still in Golus. So the Rebbe wanted to answer that question. He promised to take us out of Golus, and we're still in Golus. Kol Godel Yoshuva Heino is the answer to that question. As mentioned, Kol Godel Yoshuva Heino is a Haghel posuk. Now it says in Chumash, Haghelas Hanoshim Ve'ataf. There should be a big Haghel in Eretz Yisrael, men, women, and children. I want to suggest to you, respectfully, that Haghel that says in Chumash never took place. And you're going to ask a question, what do you mean it never took place? It says in Chumash, Haghel was Hanoshim Ve'ataf. A pasuk in Chumash, the mitzvah of Haghel. How can you say it never took place? The answer is that the Rambam says that not everyone is mechuyev in Haghel. As a matter of fact, the Rambam was a Mesuder. He did everything with a Seder. He counts 11 elements of people who are exempt from Haghel. Among them, an old man. He's 99 years old, and he lives in Ashkelon. And it's very difficult for him to get to Yerushalayim. Is he mechuyev? Is he obligated to go to Yerushalayim for Haghel? The Rambam says absolutely not. He's exempt. He's blind. He doesn't see. Is he obligated to go to Yerushalayim? The Rambam says he's not, one of the 11 elements. He's lame. He can't walk. In the Yochel Halich Beraglov. He lives in Pesach Tikva, but he can't walk to Yerushalayim. The halacha is that he's spotted from Haghel. A woman that is with child, and she is due to give birth any day, and she lives in Kfar Chabad, is she mechuyev in Haghel? The answer that she's not. What is this posuk? In this posuk it says, Hineni meve'eso me'eretz Tzofin. I will bring him from the land of Tzofin, from the north. And I will bring him from all over. Bom, What does it say? That Iver, a person who is blind, Piseach, a person who is lame, who cannot walk, Hodav Yeledes Yachdov, a woman that is with child. And they are, all three of them are exempt from Haghel. They are exempt from going to Jerusalem. The Rambam writes that they are exempt. Hilchos Chagiga, Klore Halacha. So therefore, the big Haghel that says in Chumash, O Anoshim ve'Hataf, never happened. Because we're talking about all Jewish men, all Jewish women, all Jewish children. There were always people who were elderly. There were always people who didn't see or didn't hear, who couldn't walk, or were women who had to give birth. It's in this pasuk. However, what does it say in this pasuk? Hineni meve'eso me'eretz sofin, v'kibatzti meyalkes yodes, I will bring him from all over. And it's going to be the real Haghel. Why? Because all those who were exempt from Haghel in the time of Golus will no longer be exempt, because the person doesn't see. He will be able to see, so he's not going to be exempt. The person who couldn't walk, now he will be able to walk. He will be able to run to Yerushalayim. The woman who is with child, now she will be able to. Everything will be together, and she will be able to go to Yerushalayim. So therefore, what the Rebbe says, and we look at it carefully now, Kol Godil Yoshuvu Heino, that is another word for Mashiach. Because Haghel is the ultimate Mashiach, where all Jewish men, all Jewish women, all Jewish children are going to be in Yerushalayim Melakedesh. So Kol Godel Yoshuvu Heino is another posik for Mashiach. So what the Rebbe is saying to us at that Farbrengen, I know what you're going to ask. I know what I promised you, but I want to tell you, I promise you I'm going to keep my word. Kol Godel Yoshuvu Heino. Yes, the Rebbe is sitting at a Farbrengen, and the Rebbe knows that next week there may not be a Farbrengen. And we may not have the opportunity of seeing and hearing the Rebbe next week. So he's telling her that Farbrengen and it's Smugo. Kol Godel Yoshuvu Heino. That what I promised you, I am going to deliver. You're the last generation of Golus, the first generation of Geulo, and this generation of Miyat Hashem will see the Geulo Amitis V'Yashlemo with our very, very own eyes. On the second day of Rosh Hashanah, we have the Haftarah, and this is a pasuk there. On Simchas Torah of Ashnas Haghel. Simchas Torah during the day. Not during the Akofis of Simchas Torah, the night of Simchas Torah, but next day. The Rebbe would open up his machzor to the Haftarah of the second day of Rosh Hashanah. The Haftarah is in Yirmiyah. And the Rebbe would say inside 3 times, Hineni mevi'eso me'eretz tzofein, v'kibatzti miyalkesei oretz, bom iveru fiseach horo v'yeledes yardov, kol godel yoshuvu heino. Uba'golo didan, uvesimcha uvtuv livov, uveteva nire ve'anigle, ulamata me'asor atfochim, uvechesed uverachamim, v'teikef umiyad, Mamish.